We got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bichette extension updates, a potential Cody Bellinger trade to the Toronto Blue Jays. That might be something. And the Rogers Center. What's going on there with the renovations? We'll break that all down and much more on Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside co-host Nick Gosse, and we finally did it. We hit 1K subscribers, but the work does not stop here. We're going to be pumping out that daily content for you, and we're now on the road to 2,000 subscribers. So make sure to click that button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free, and you get Blue Jays content, daily Blue Jays content in return. Don't know what's better than that.
Nothing's better than that. Quick reminder, 89% of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you know you're watching the videos and you like what we're doing, daily content over here, make sure to hit that sub button. It means the world to us, and the support's been great, so keep that up and keep leaving feedback in the comments. But yeah, it's free like Peter said, so hit the button if you do enjoy. No pressure though. Let's get into the video here now. We have a lot of topics to cover today. So the first one is a Vlad Jr. / Bichette extension. We'll be talking about our opinion alongside an article here with some insider info about what Ross Atkins has been thinking regarding that. So it's a bit of a long article, so I'll kind of paraphrase and summarize it. So the question asked to the reporter's writer was, with contract extension coming up for Vladdy and Bo, does the Blue Jays' future include both players? And essentially the answer is yes. It's a viable option because the front office will have been planning towards that for a while. President Mark Shapiro often talked about building a roster with layers of different salaries, young players, entry-level deals, etc. So when the Blue Jays signed free agent deals, both in the past and the future, they've done so while budgeting for what that means for the roster's payroll in the future. The key thing here, they say the Blue Jays, in all likelihood, plan to make the payroll constraints work. Obviously, it's up to Bo and Vladdy whether they decide to sign them. But the key thing there is that, yes, Mark Shapiro, all the contracts they've been doing, according to these reporters and insiders, has been leading to a Bo Bichette and Vladdy extension soon.
Two things. Two things for this article I'm not crazy about. Okay, that's the first thing. Why are the Blue Jays on a budget? Why are we acting like we're a small market team and we don't have the richest owner in the major leagues? Why is that the notion around this team? When we were making our ALCS runs in 2015, 2016, we were top 5 in payroll. We had players that were making $20+ million a year, and we had a lot of them. And we went for broke. We didn't end up winning a World Series, but they were going for it year in, year out, and I think it has a lot to do with Alex Anthopoulos and his approach. That also might be why he's not here today as the Blue Jays GM, but I guess I'm not crazy about this kind of frugal approach that the Toronto Blue Jays have in free agency in re-signing their star players. And the second thing, Nick, I don't want to ramble on here, but Alek Manoah, why is he not the number one priority to re-sign? I know he's years away from free agency. That's still a ways away for the Toronto Blue Jays. But we'll go back to Alex Anthopoulos here. The Atlanta Braves. Look what he's doing. Star player, plays a handful of games for his team, and he's already locking him down for 10+ years. That's the approach you got to take. You got to get these guys on team-friendly deals early so you could avoid having to pay them $400+ million later on.
Yeah, a couple good points there. I like the Braves point a lot. I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, regarding the budget, I think Rogers is ready to spend. I don't know. I guess the report kind of talked about budgeting for either, but I think that they eventually, when it comes down to it, whether it's in the free agency market or Bo and Vladdy, I think they're gonna spend the big money because they've shown in the past couple of years that they're willing to do so. So I think they will. But yeah, the article kind of worded it weird. And yeah, about the Manoah thing, like you said, he is far away from free agency, but yeah, that's a good point. I would like to see a Manoah, just lock him up like the Braves did with Harris and Acuna and everyone, and they seem to be good deals. So just lock him up early. He'll probably be expensive, but then we don't have to. I don't think he's gonna leave anyway. But then you won't have to worry about him, and you can plan accordingly around that. I definitely agree with that. The reason the article, go ahead. Yeah, the reason the article didn't say anything is probably because they were just focused on Bo and Vladdy right now because they're closer. But I like the idea about a Braves approach.
But you know what you have in Alek Manoah. Like this is a guy that's not going anywhere. He's going to be at the top of your rotation for years to come. He's durable. He has a big frame that has a repeatable delivery, and it's just a guy that probably won't get injured, knock on wood, in his entire career. Like, he's just very durable, very strong, and that's a kind of guy that you want in your team. So why don't you get him now? before you have to pay him that $400-500 million contract that he might get if inflation and all that, So get him locked down now. You know what you have in Alec Manoah.
Yeah, if he's open to doing one that's not 400 million, then I'm all in for it. But I could see a world where he wants a $400 million contract now. But
Yeah.
it's definitely something we'll keep an eye on, and hopefully that update was helpful. It is interesting that they're definitely planning to re-sign both, because who knows? But a trade could still come up for Bo. But let's move into the next topic now, because we have 3 more after, including this one. So Bellinger to the Jays. Now, I've seen a lot of you guys, and well, Peter has as well in the comments, talking about Bellinger a lot. And we'll have a chance to, give our opinion about that now. But a report surfaced asking, how aggressively do you think the Jays and other teams will pursue Bellinger if he's non-tendered, a former MVP left-handed bat with rock-solid defense? It basically says that any team going to pursue a guy who hit as bad as he did over the past 2 seasons. His past pedigree makes him an intriguing look. He's obviously a good defender. If he's non-tendered, he's a candidate for a bet on himself 1-year contract. The Blue Jays have had some recent success with those type of deals. So this is kind of talking about if he's non-tendered and, we could sign him to a contract. But like you said, I would not be opposed to a potential trade if we just gave up some like minor leaguer. But either way, what are your thoughts on him despite his struggles the past, few years?
I just think it's crazy how far he has fallen off a cliff. I mean, this guy, like the article said, he was former MVP, guy that hit so many home runs in the middle of the Dodgers order when they were making their World Series runs there. And now he's batting 9th for the team. He's, it's just not the same player. It's tough to see. And it's just crazy to me that you could bring in a guy like Cody Bellinger and he has the label of like a 4th outfielder. I wouldn't bring him here to have him be a 4th outfielder. I would bring him here to start in center field if that were the case. And I would move George Springer over to right field, then look to trade either Teoscar Hernandez or Lourdes Gurriel. But if the price is right, like he said, you wouldn't want to overpay for Cody Bellinger just based off his name and what he's done in the past.
Yeah, so if we're looking for a trade, I would throw in like I don't know, like a 30th ranked prospect or 20th ranked prospect in our system. Not even if even that.
I don't know. I don't know.
But he, like the article said, and like you've said, he still has great defense. Like he's still a solid defender. He's a left-handed bat, and he's done it in the past. He's been an MVP candidate in the past. He's been phenomenal. So it's a risk that if the Blue Jays can't secure someone like Brandon Nimmo, I think they should definitely have a look at that. And the one interesting thing here that they said is that the Blue Jays have had some recent success with those types of deals, and he could fit as a 4th outfielder. And like you said, I don't agree with that point. If you're going to bring him in and you're going to pay for him, or whether it's through free agency if he gets non-tendered or a trade, I don't know if a 4th outfielder would really make sense, because you would rather just have someone. I mean, it would be a good defensive replacement, I guess, but you'd rather have someone like Tapia or even like Zimmer just for like a strict role. So I'd rather have him just play center field every day and see if he can figure it out. Give Springer's body some rest. But yeah, the thing where it says there's I don't know about that.
Well, hypothetically, let's say the Jays do bring him here and he plays center field for them every day. So now he's probably going to be, if not the only left-handed bat, one of 2 left-handed bats in a right-handed heavy lineup. So you're going to see a lot of right-handed pitching, which play into his favor and maybe help him figure it out. But yeah, no, I mean, you're going to have to pay to get a guy like Cody Bellinger just because of his defense and how athletic he is in center field. That's worth something in itself. So
Yeah,
I mean, you can't just get him for like a 30th ranked prospect in your system. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, the article is kind of pointing if he's non-tendered, meaning we could just sign him for, I guess, whatever he takes. But again, I don't see the Dodgers doing that, and I don't really think that they would go that.
But when they're talking about players that have had success in that type of situation with the Jays, they're referring to a guy like Marcus Semien.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we can get a Marcus Semien type season from Cody Bellinger, then yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see about Bellinger, see if we pull off a trade or what happens with him and what the Dodgers do with him, because it's going to be an interesting thing. But let's dive into the last couple topics here as we are running out of time. This one is Rogers Center renovations. So we got some pictures the other day regarding the Rogers Center renovations. So I'll pop it up on the screen now. The first one, so it's basically just saying here's what's been happening. So an entire 500 level and the 100/200 level outfielder seats have been removed. The 500 level outfield section's open to concourse, and 200 level is being reshaped. And I do have some pictures to throw up here of the seats being messed with and Rogers Center being renovated. So this is good to see, because obviously it took a long time for the Rogers Center to be renovated. Starting to get a bit stale in my opinion. I've been there, 10 times or so, and I don't know, it was starting to get a little stale. So I'm kind of happy that they've changed that up a little bit.
I guess you could kind of equate it to the Blue Jays. Their approach has been kind of getting a little bit stale, and they need a bit of a reshake, like a shift in what they're doing and their culture. So I think not only is their stadium going to look better, their team's going to look a lot better for next season. And you know what, Nick? I wish I could get one of those seats to put right in the background there and have as a bit of a backdrop for our Jays Digest videos.
That would be a
That'd be
excellent.
cool.
Yeah, that would be an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see the Rogers Center getting renovated. Who knows? Hopefully, once it starts to come together, we'll get a better picture of what the changes are going to be. But that was just a cool thing to throw in there. And we have our last little tiny piece of news here. We already hit in the two major topics of the video. There's about a minor league pitcher. So I'll throw up a little screenshot we have here. He almost threw an immaculate inning. So his name is Hagen Danner. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever. Came one result away from an immaculate inning, 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 2 strikeouts. Other out came on a grounder to third base. Was high, 97 to 98 with his fastball, and got K'd on his slider. So, this guy's, I didn't really know much about him. I don't know if you know a whole lot about him, but he's had a solid year in A+ ball. I think he pitched to around a 2.8 ERA, and he's been struggling in AA. I believe a 4.6, 4.7. But obviously, like you said off camera, AA is when the difficulty increases for pitchers especially. But it was good to see him have a really nice inning there. Maybe that's a name that we can keep an eye out on.
I don't know much about him, but you always love to see 97, 98 on the radar gun. That could help any team out. So hopefully if he can find his way around the strike zone and kind of repeat that immaculate inning, not exactly to that extent, but repeat that type of strike throwing and stuff, then yeah, maybe it could be a name we see down the line.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for him, and hopefully maybe we'll see him in the bullpen one day, and we'll come back to this video and be like, wow, we mentioned him early. But it's gonna wrap it up. We are on the road to 2K subs. No graphic, but we'll be getting there soon. And the support's been unreal. I can't even thank you guys enough. Every single day we've been posting, you guys have been showing mad love and support. So we do appreciate it more than you guys could ever know.
Yeah, it's been sick. Thanks, guys.
See you tomorrow.